All right, so today I am going to edit a photo from beginning to finish using one of my preset and a lavender brush. The preset is not included in the package, but I'm just using it because it's my preset and I know you will get the look I wanted. So this is basically straight out of the camera, and this is if you do reset, and this is, and you see this is just the original photo, and this was how um, Jake shot the photo, and it was very hazy and just not very interesting that day. And let's see how we can make this. So first, I always go down to the transform, auto, just slow, or maybe level. Just make it straight. If it doesn't work, I just go to the cropping tool and then go just use a ruler because sometimes computer doesn't know that's straight. All right, so I think this is pretty straight. Okay, so it's really weird. There's some sort of effect applied to it. Whatever. So let's just make it straight. All right, second, I want to remove this ugly pole. For the previous blue sky tutorial, or the next one, depends on what order you look at, you watch the video. I wasn't very successfully remove the poles in the other photos because there were things right next to it. But and those are the things you have to bring to Photoshop. But for this, it's very easy because there's nothing around it, and then you can just acquire from something else. Okay. Sorry, that was a glitch, so I had to click off another photo. Now let's see. Since we've been traveling, so I have a brush for every place we visited. I think portrait. I think this will be good. So before, after. It's nice and bright, and I like that. And maybe I'll bring the color a little bit. I usually just lower the color on all of my presets, so it won't be like this for every single photo I apply. So I can just go with my own little guideline for each photo, how bright or colorful I want it to be. I think this is really good. Before, after, it's already looking a lot better. And the next one I want to do is have more lavender and less green. Now this is the preset I have purchased. I also have a lot of brush presets because it's just very it's just a lot of work to every single time I edit a photo and think about, oh, what was that editing job I did that's very well. So every time I think I'm doing a good job with some sort of editing technique, I just immediately make a preset. So so I don't have to remember it. I can just use it. Okay, so we have three: lavender, cool, deep, and warm. All right, those are just basically the colors that I wanted to change. Let's just use this one. Jake likes it cool because he likes his lavender photos to have bluish tint to it. But I like my lavender photos to have more warm yellowish tint to it. So since I'm editing the photos, so it will be however I want it. But this is a special request from Jake because he wants to include a cool lavender brush For those ones who likes it nice and cool and kind of pastel-y kind of look, this is it. And it's okay if you go over like persons in the photo. You can just go to erase. Make sure you still have the brush tool selected. And under it, there's erase. A is your current brush. And the erase will erase all the little things that you accidentally colored over. Actually, with a cool brush, you probably want to keep the, and if you're wearing white, that is, if you want to keep it, because it makes the just really pop. But I want to erase the skin part. And Lisa. Alright, and then if this is too much pull, you lower the flow of the size and just go over it lightly. So we still erase it, but just not that much. Okay, so before, after. Alright, if you click off, then you're back onto the main panel. If you want to adjust the highlight and contrast of the brush, click back onto it again and find your little dot. And in another video, I talked about your brush organization. I like to put it around a left or right hand corner, depends on how much I have to do. So that way I know where it is located. And if you just hover over it and stand still, you will cover everything red. That basically tells you where the active area is. You see there's a little bit of hue left on the dress to make it a little bit brighter and pop. All right. So why I like to keep it to the side, because if I'm editing like details, like bring out sometimes like if it's shot backlit, my face or Lisa's face will be dark, and if we're going to edit it with a brush tool, I have a face brighter brush as well. If we put it right over the face, it will be too small of a surface. If we put it to the side, for example, if I do like face, clothing, or whatever, I put on the left side, and then I do like skies and the grounds and I put on the right side, it will be very easy for me to figure out which is which, then just like go around the body to see where my brushes are. All right, so let's fix this. Okay, let's click on this. Now it's black, so it means it's selected. We can lower it, make it, and then get rid of the highlight. So that's one look. And let's see, where is my lavender brush? Right here. And now that's deep. And deep is for if your photo is really, really bright, and usually I don't use deep, but it's just for overexposed photos. And this is warm. This is the one I use the most. And then you can see the difference between warm and cool, right? This is your classic pastel lavender kind of edit, and this is my sunset or sunrise warm lavender edit. So you can still go inside, just play with the look until you get what you want. Like, I think that's good. Right, so you deselect this, and let's add a directional sunlight. Currently my presets are pretty much everywhere, but I'll package it together, rename it, so that it's very easy for you to see where everything is. All right. Sky sunset is what I use the most to add an interesting highlight to the sky, to the image. Okay, and then there's the sky warm. So I think sky warm might be perfect for this photo because it's not as contrasty as the other one. And yeah, it adds a really nice soft glow to the photo. So that's before and that's after. And I believe that's it. And if you want to see how I fixed it in Photoshop, just hop over to the Photoshop